So you're thinking about moving to Denver, Colorado, and you're debating on whether or not to get involved in an HOA. Well, you're in luck. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons not to be involved in an HOA. So if you're buying a mile high, let's get started. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, first off, I want to thank you. Secondly, I want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you hit the little bell down below so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And you can be updated on all things living, eating, drinking, sleeping, really anything about Denver, Colorado you need to know. Today I'm going to talk about HOAs and the top reasons not to get involved in one. So let's get started. So you might hear the nasty, HOA words, and you've heard horror stories of it from forever ago, and quite honestly, they're probably not untrue. But there are 5 big reasons that you might not want to be involved in an HOA. So think about that when you're buying it. Number 1 up on the list, there are fees. You got to pay, most of the time it's every month. Sometimes it's every quarter, sometimes once a year. But, these fees range from, $100, $600, $700, $800, depends on what you get for it. Sometimes you might get, your insurance paid. Sometimes they might pay for, water, sewer, and gas. There's a couple of them around town here that pay for really everything. They pay for, heat. They pay for cable, stuff like that. Those ones are the ones that are, pretty expensive. So just be aware of those fees. Next up, be aware that you might not have as much freedom as you might think you might have. You can't paint your house a different color than, all the other ones. You might have to have the exact same windows as all the other ones in the complex have. You might have to, get certain approvals to do some upgrades inside of the house. You can't tear down a wall. You lose some freedoms when you live in an HOA. I mean, my bugaboo with them is you don't have the freedom to do your yard the way you want to. You can't put a swing set in the yard, or you can't put, a water fountain or whatever it may be, bird feeders, whatever it is. You just lose a little bit of freedom. Secondly, you lose a little bit of the financing options you might have when buying. Condo associations, homeowners associations, they sometimes try and limit how many FHA borrowers are in the community. Some of them might limit, the amount of fix and flips in the area. Just, sometimes affects some of your financing options just because it affects some of the other property values. Another one, and everyone's heard about it from 10 million years, it's fines. You might get fined living in an HOA. If you do leave your trash out too long, or, barbecue on the wrong day, or whatever it might be, you get fined. They're a pain, but, it's just what you don't want to happen in an HOA is to be fined, and unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is. Next up, finally, it's failure. If the HOA fails, sometimes the state takes over. Sometimes, their insurance fails. There's a case going on right now where there's a massive fire and the HOA was underfunded, underinsured, I guess. And when they were doing that, now there's like 80 different people that are essentially homeless now because they don't have the insurance that they were relying on from the HOA to insure them against a fire, and the HOA just didn't do it. So those are the 5 F's. If you do not want to live in an HOA, those are the 5 reasons not to. So now you're an expert on reasons not to buy in an HOA. So whether you're moving next week, next month, next year, I would love to help you, and we'll make sure you have a smooth move to altitude.